Hey, today is a B5 knot inside of a DS Cosmetic handle, available on AliExpress, pretty cheap. And I like this knot a lot. I'm going to dunk it. You don't have to soak. You can just get it wet in some other way and just let it sit, but I like to soak. Alright, today's soap, it's going to be a new one to me. It was a gift, kind of a Christmas exchange, and American Blend by Fine Accoutrements. I really like Fine Accoutrements soaps. Here's their ingredients list if you want to pause and be able to read that. And it just, the performance is amazing. It's a hard soap. The scents they have are excellent so far, the ones that I've tried. The Santal Absolute is my all-time favorite soap. That's their sandalwood scent. The performance is just so creamy and delicious. And it's a hard soap. It'll last forever. It'll last a really long time. And so that's why I like them. And thanks to my gifter, I have the cool soap bowl that comes with the soaps. Fits perfectly in there. There's the dude stamped in the top of the soap. It's a triple milled soap. It's inexpensive, like $12.50 for a refill puck. If you can't afford some kind of container, it's like this, which is another 12 bucks or so, then you can just use Tupperware or some little bowl you had in your kitchen, and or a mug or something like that with these soaps. And so I love the fact that they're inexpensive. The soap, they're just accessible for everybody. The blade today is a feather that's been used 4 times already. And so, feather's one of those blades that has the nasty little waxy residue. Don't like it at all. Now, the razor we're going to put it in is this aluminum above the tie razor. And it's the M, as you can see on my right, made in the USA and all that stuff. And this is not polished aluminum, and so it's pretty cool because the grip on the handle is just terrific, because it's got little micro ridges because of the because it hasn't been polished. And so even when wet and soapy, there's a very secure grip. So we'll just put that blade in there. It's aluminum, so you can't tighten it down as hard. And I've had the alignment go really properly every single time. Just check, just to be sure, but yep, works great. I'm going to put a little bit of soap on the puck. It's a hard soap, and so you if you have a soft soap like any of the artisan stuff, then you should not bloom those. It's a waste of soap, and some of the soaps, it actually deteriorates them and makes them less quality, makes it less of a quality soap. But this is a hard soap, a legitimate hard soap, so we can bloom those. It can reduce your load time. You can either have time on the front or time on the back, depending. If you don't bloom, you have longer load time at the end. If you do bloom, you have to wait for that to bloom, but I take advantage of that by doing other prep work. All right, the razor's in place. I'm going to splash my face. With fine soaps, the Italian Citrus, really nice. The Fresh Vetiver is just an amazing scent, and they have several soaps that I could just go the rest of my life only using fine soaps because of that slickness. I believe the understanding is that Tabac, a well-known soap made in Germany, It's a hard soap, performs really well. Doesn't really have a smell that endears itself to a lot of people. It does have its followers. I actually like it. I can smell past that initial grandma powdery scent and smell this kind of tweaky, oud, bitter, cologne type scent that I really like a vetiver, like a dark vetiver kind of scent. At least that's the way I perceive it. So I actually like it. But the performance, nobody can deny the performance of tobacco. Well, I believe the guys at Fine reverse engineered the tobacco formulation, and that's where their starting point was. And what a great, and so you've got that awesome performance combined now with better scents, nice strong scents. There you go. So the brush has soaked, the puck has soaked for just a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pour that out. All right. I don't know how long I should go for. I'm gonna go with just a lightly wet brush here, and that's 20 seconds right there. So let's just start the clock. I'm just gonna eyeball it here and just see when the soap kind of starts to happen. So we've already got the bubbly mix popping up here. That's 20 seconds of loading. Probably 40 seconds is going to be, I'm sorry, 30 seconds is going to be fine. And that's going to be right now. So let's kind of gather up this stuff. Let's just see if that is good enough. So these containers, oh, nice slick. Oh, holy cow. They have they don't have a top to them, but they're stackable. You can obviously see the edge here. There's an indentation all the way around here. So if you buy more than one kind, you can just use that to stack them on top of each other. And they have color codes that are closely resembled there. The different scents that they have. While I do love the soaps, their post-shave, I'm afraid they all have menthol, and that bums me out. But I might try a sample of one sometime, because it's possible a couple hours after my shave, I might be able to apply it, and it won't irritate my skin quite as much. Another thing that Fine does is the lather bowl, and I'm definitely not a fan of that for my own style of lather making. I need something deeper with higher sides, because I spent a lot of time with that Fine bowl trying to keep the lather from spilling out the sides, because I like brushes with some splay to them, and so that took up most of the bowl. Even though it's got these cool ridges, it just didn't work as well for me. All right. Let's start building up this lather. So this is obviously barbershop scent. Tell you what, I have smelled. I definitely do not like all barbershops. A lot of times they're floral dominant. This is acting kind of dry, kind of from the get-go. So I'm not gonna spend too much time brushing it around and mixing it right now before I jump right into adding water. And we'll just add a whole teaspoon at a time. Usually a barbershop scent will have kind of some soapy notes to it. Sometimes it'll have some floral notes. But this looks really good. That was a 30-second load. Yeah, I like that. Can't really identify what else is there other than kind of a clean soapy scent. Now, I tell you about the lather bowl. So if you are a person who splays their brush when they're lathering in their bowl, then, and it's a kind of a reasonable amount of splay with maybe a boar or a badger brush, then you might be in the same situation as me. However, I discovered that the people who are really happy with that bowl are people who don't splay as much, and that might be because they're using a knot that doesn't splay very much, like a synthetic with a lot of backbone. Just doesn't splay. Or they do tiny circles, but I felt like I was going to get carpal tunnel trying to do circles that tiny. Oh, this lather just looks terrific. Just kind of using my standard method of slowly adding water. Seville is Barrister and Mann's barbershop scent, and it's really good as well. Mike's Natural Soaps has one called Barbershop. Just a terrific looking lather. I'm going to get this combined. Then we'll do a finger test. Oh, so slick. So slick. Almost don't feel the ridges in my fingertips. That is outstanding. And they go for kind of minimal packaging. Just it kind of has an old classic look to it. And this is not just because it's being an American blend barbershop type thing. All the soaps look like this. And when I was in the early stages of my wet shaving hobby, I thought they had been around because of the vintage look of the boxes and stuff. I thought they'd been around for 100 years. You know, it's pretty wild. They just released a Marvel razor. It's a Zamac razor. It's not stainless steel or anything like that. I've heard pretty good reviews from it. I think some people like it, some people don't. Man, this lather just looks great. There are some other notes in there that are kind of calming down the soapy kind of effect, and I like it. I mean, everybody has a little soapy scent to it in their lineup, so why reinvent that wheel? And I think they've taken some classic fragrances with this company here to line up everything, to constitute their lineup. This lather looks outstanding. Let's go with it and see how it goes. All right. Splash water on my face. Left a little bit on there just because I think maybe this mix just might be a little on the thick side. I think I'm going to have to add some more water. if you go back and forth like this and you see kind of clumps and stuff instead of farm rows, I call them furrows, then with many soaps, the artisan type soaps especially, that's a good indicator that you need to add some more water. So let's try that out. One of the reasons I don't face lather is because I don't really like adding water to a brush while I'm shaving, while I'm lathering up my face. Most of the time it just kind of ends up coming out the bottom of the handle. Holy cow, look at all this. Look at all this lather. I have just got tons. And so that is cool because now I can start backing down. I've put in, I did refill, I believe. So I believe I've put in two syringes. So that'd be 4 teaspoons, I think. Darn it, I can't remember. I'll have to watch the video back. All right, and so we have got tons of lather. All right, so here we go with the above the tie. Now I had a stainless steel above the tie last year sometime. I just wasn't really able to get it comfortable, and there are just several other razors that did better, and so I passed it on to somebody else. So this is the feather blade, and it is very consistent right now. A nice, comfortable, almost smooth shave. Very nice. Lots of glide. And this razor has exhibited some drag for me in the past, but not with this soap. Holy cow, this stuff is good. It's not a strong scent, this soap. I'll have to pay attention to it when I lather it up next time. Wow, so this is the M, so it is a mild head. And it's handling the feather very, very nicely. Really happy with that. All right, rinse. Went ahead and mixed up the lather again since I had added a little bit more water to the bowl since my brush needed more. Man, I love it when an economical soap just performs so well. I don't have any affiliation with this company. I'm just a big fan. Now this razor is handling this feather blade really, really well for me. I said for me because you know, I have no way of knowing how it'll work for you. Skin type, hair type, all that may be different. But if you're afraid of a feather blade, this type of head might be a great way to get started with it. Little twinge right there. Did I have a bump or something right there? Was I being careless? I don't know. Maybe that's a section that I usually go over kind of like this, and so I usually don't hit it from the top down. Nice, great glide with this. The rinse after the first pass was terrific. It just felt wonderful, luxurious, slick, and all that. I'm about to hit my third pass, and I just haven't really noticed a lot of the scent around me as I'm using it. So I'm just digging my nose in it. And I believe it's got the soapiness in there. There's some florals. I don't like florals. I don't like them when they're dominant. But it seems like they're muted enough that they're playing nicely with a soapy note as well, or some other note. Something's balancing them out, so I almost didn't even discern them as florals in the beginning. Only now that I'm trying to be critical are they coming out. So, and as you know, scents can change as you use them, because your nose may get desensitized to certain aspects of it, and then you start smelling other things. Also, some scents just don't last as long, and sometimes the soap maker will then make that a strategy, an intentionality, where some notes come out at first and you smell them, they go away, and then a longer lasting note is still there that it then switches to. Sometimes they can kind of take you on a journey that way. Well, brush feels great. It's got just the right amount of, splay and softness and all that stuff for me. And this soap is tremendous. Yeah, I think I had a zit at the bottom of my neck there where I told you I got a zinger. So I just cut his top off, I reckon. Early stages of one, so he was easy to miss. Excellent. Man, this stuff is slick. So 30 seconds. I guess if I'm going to bloom it for just a few minutes like I did, 20 seconds, I think that's what I should try next time. And that's great. That's great. So this feather in this mild, this M head is doing excellently. I don't like the bamboo handle. I was really eager to try it out when the opportunity for this swap came around, and I could use it, if I was stuck on a desert island and this was my only handle. Turns out that it works a lot better than I wish it did. Turns out it is a good handle. When it is milled like this, I've also used a polished stainless steel in the same shape. Did not like it at all. Way too slippery. There's so many curves that want to push your fingers to the side to make it hard to grip, let alone when it's wet and soapy.